Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. Welcome back, Ram fans. Episode 509 of Rams Up. The bulk of this episode is my Fearsome Four Wish List, the 4 things I want to see in this final preseason game. A takeoff on my Fearsome Four Keys to the game, tweaking it a little bit to suit a preseason game. You can also view my Fearsome Four Wish List on the YouTube channel. Pretty much the same content, adding a few other items here. We do have some news to report, and it isn't good. Alaric Jackson, the Rams' starting left tackle, who has been banged up, held back because of an ankle issue, has been suspended for the first 2 games of the season for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. Man, not good news. Now, the Rams are in pretty good shape along the offensive line, in my opinion. We were concerned that Alaric Jackson and Rob Havenstein wouldn't be able to go. And what do? Plug in Joseph Noteboom, obviously, for one of them. Now we know Alaric will be gone, not available for the first 2 games against the Lions and Cardinals, back for the 49ers game. So we have to really cross our fingers and hope that Rob Havenstein is good to go. Rams' depth along the offensive line already being tested, and we haven't even gotten to our 53-man roster yet. It's going to make room for an additional offensive lineman, obviously. And you know, what's really frustrating about this is Alaric Jackson. You remember over a year ago, he had that tweet about the Rams needing to start the offensive linemen that are getting it done on the field. Well, Alaric, you might be hearing a tweet or 2 from some of your teammates now. Now, I know probably not. I don't know what the nature of this is. Rams aren't saying, but real bummer. Alaric Jackson out for the first 2 games. Hey, episode 509. Let's talk about a player who wore number 9. We missed this number during episode 409. I don't even know if we were doing this back during episode 309. But how about a quarterback that wore number 9? And his name is not Matthew Stafford. Remember Austin Davis, pretty talented guy, 6'2", 220, out of Southern Mississippi, went undrafted, actually got to Southern Mississippi on a baseball scholarship, walked onto the Southern Mississippi football team, had a nice little college career, was rated the 13th best quarterback by some in the draft, but went undrafted, signed by the Rams as an undrafted free agent, cut in August of that year, 2012. Rams picked him up in 2013 after Sam Bradford was injured, and he finally got on the field during the 2014 season, ended up starting 8 games, replaced Sean Hill. Sean Hill eventually replaced him, however. In those 8 games, Rams won 3 games, had 5 losses. He threw for over 2,000 yards, 12 TDs, and 9 interceptions, and had an interesting stat. In a win over the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, a 28-26 win, Davis completed 17 of 20 passes, the best completion percentage in NFL history against a defending Super Bowl champion. So he can hang his hat on that. Nice stat to tell your grandkids about. He was released by the Rams in the final cuts before the 2015 season. Played for a couple more teams. Austin Davis, our number 9 for the Los Angeles Rams. Before we get to our Fearsome Four Wish List for the Rams-Texans game, one other note. Kevin Patra of NFL.com identified a first-time Pro Bowler for each team, and my guess was Kevin Dotson, and bingo, that's who Patra had. Kevin Dotson could be the Ram who reaches the Pro Bowl for the first time. You know what? He should have been there last year. So let's get to this Fearsome Four Wish List as shared on the YouTube channel. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Mark from Rams Up. I'm going to get into my Fearsome Four Keys to the game, Rams-Texans preseason game number 3. And I'm kind of lying already. Not really keys to the game like I do during the regular season, because we're not really focused on winning this game. There are, however, some things we want to see, a wish list of sorts of things I want to see from our Rams, mostly our Rams backups, but nonetheless, things that we have to see, we hope to see before the Rams do this cut down to 53 players. And before I get to that, some news and notes, a couple of things from the Rams website, kind of interesting. They have been trying Limmer at center with Avila at left guard. We knew that kind of makes sense. Just, give these guys a little bit of a taste of what might occur if someone gets hurt. But the interesting part of it was, according to the writer, they are comparing and contrasting that couple, that pairing, Limmer at center, Avila at left guard, with Avila at center and Zach Thomas at left guard. Now, if you saw my 53-man roster show, I kind of cut Zach Thomas. So not sure what that means. Maybe Thomas makes this roster make it. Maybe Logan Bruss doesn't. I thought I might have seen Logan Bruss in there rather than Zach Thomas, but it just, once again, just goes to show you some of the tough decisions the Rams have to make here, especially with Havenstein and Alaric Jackson still recovering from ankle injuries. Jonah Jackson, I don't think we need to talk about his injury anymore. He should be good to go. What else, man, in that joint practice, Rams pass rush continues to bring the heat. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, and even Bobby Brown. Good to hear. He was a guy that Paul Wally and I have been a little bit concerned about. Is he the weak link in that starting front 3? Maybe not. Maybe he is the dude that we need to. I'm more concerned about defending the run than the pass rush, but good to hear that Bobby Brown's making some noise against some pretty good offensive linemen there in Houston.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
And they also noted in this article a battle for that fourth cornerback spot, I should say. And, they're kind of highlighting the same thing I did. Josh Wallace, Charles Woods, Trey Tomlinson, Sean Jolly, all battling for a spot on this roster, and not sure how that's going to turn out. And one thing that was really puzzling to me, now the Rams signed running back SaRodorick Thompson, and made perfect sense to me. I had been questioning why the Rams hadn't done this already. We saw that in the last preseason game. Boston Scott and Zach Evans, only 2 suited up running backs, and both of them got hurt at different times during the game and left. Both came back. But I know it's a preseason game, but what do you do if you have no running backs? And I'd like to see Boston Scott sit down at this point. But Sean McVay saying that they held Boston Scott out of practice because this is the joint practice with the Texans, because he's probably going to see heavy duty against the Texans. And I don't know, it does not add up to me. I thought the whole point of bringing in someone like SaRodorick Thompson would be, hey, SaRodorick, you want to come in, fly into Houston, give you a couple pages of the playbook. You're going to get 15 carries along with Zach Evans, and that'll be it. But Now McVay saying Boston Scott's going to get a heavy load. If Boston Scott has already made this roster, maybe he hasn't. But if he has, and he's coming back from some soft tissue injury, hold him back. Let Zach and Saradrick do the job against the Texans. Who cares, really, right? So enough of that. Let's get to my Fearsome Four Wish List, the 4 things I hope to see in this final preseason game. And you can probably guess what a few of them are. Most importantly, well, I shouldn't say that. Very important, though, I would like to see Joshua Carty and Ethan Evans show what they got. Ethan Evans, not a lot of opportunities, hasn't kicked well, though, in the punting game. And Joshua Carty's been okay. Still want to see him hit a 50-yarder, 50 plus. Every week I ask for a little bit more. I want it just any kick, just your average 35-yard kick. We got that. Hey, how about a 48-yarder? I asked specifically for a 48-yarder, and he hit one. So I'm going to ask for, hey, how about, don't get too greedy here, how about a 53-yarder from Joshua Carty? And like I said, some nice punts from Ethan Evans. The other thing I want to see is the second thing on my wish list. I want to see a bunch of guys sitting down. I don't need to see any more Jordan Whittington. I don't need to see any more Bo Limmer. I know you want to experiment with these different combinations. I get it. No more of him. Cam Kinchins, if he's good to go, sit him down. There's probably a few other guys that I'd like to see sit down. But, you know, if you're on this roster and you're going to be rotating in, take a seat. And if that happens to be the case with Nick Hampton, same thing. Tyler Davis, same thing. I know you got to put 11 guys out there on defense, 11 guys on offense, but there's a handful of guys that I really don't want out there in this preseason game. I don't care if it's 40-0 Texans. I'd be happy with 40-0 Texans. Let's make it 40-3 with Joshua Carty hitting a 53-yard field goal. How about that? Now, that leads me to the third thing on my wish list. Now, if we're only scoring 3 points, what does that mean for Stetson Bennett's performance? I just want to see some steady improvement from Stetson, more accurate on his throws primarily, right? That's been his biggest issue. The biggest issue last week anyways, throwing behind receivers, throwing late, that type of thing. We've seen some good things. It's a big problem the Rams have on their hands, at least most fans would seem to think. Going into games 1 and 2 with Stetson Bennett as your number 2 QB, QB2, I don't know, man, a little bit unsettling. So like to see some improvement by him. And even if he does improve and have a good game, I don't know if that's going to totally calm our concerns about QB2 going into Detroit. And the last thing I want to see, hey, our starters have been bringing it. The defensive line and edge rushers putting a lot of pressure. They were apparently chasing C.J. Stroud all over the place. Hey, let's put a quarterback on his back a few times. And I know some of these guys aren't going to play, but Van Valkenburg, Nick Hampton, if you're out there, O'Shawn Mathis, let's bring it. Let's get some sacks. Need to see. We've seen pressure. Game 1, we saw a lot of pressure. Game 2, not so much, although we did get the sack from Watkins. Let's see some more pressure like we saw in game 1, but actually culminating in sacks. And I'd like to see some takeaways from our defense. I don't care who's out there. I said this last week. I don't care who's out there. It's a mentality, a vibe that you develop on defense, that you're taking the ball away and you are pressuring the quarterback. So I want to see that in this final preseason game as well. And most importantly, of course, no injuries. Let's turn injuries off. Let's hold back a bunch of guys. Good special teams, kicker, punter, Stetson Bennett, takeaways, sacks. Is that asking for too much? I hope not. That's all I got. That's all I'm hoping for. That's my Fearsome Four wish list for the Rams-Texans preseason game number 3. Can't wait for opening day. Got to get through these 53. Got to get through this 53-man roster cut down first. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of questions the Rams have to answer. And, man, we'll all find out Tuesday, and we'll have a roundtable discussing that. We'll also have a quick reaction video following the Rams-Texans game, and then Tuesday night, roundtable with Ian and Paul. It's going to be crazy checking out this 53-man roster out here from Rams Up. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.